Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Name's John Megacycle here. Welcome back to Evil Bank Manager. This is our second episode in our How to Play. And I know I usually lump like my tutorials like while I'm playing like the game legit, but this game had so few tooltips and the instructions were kind of crap and the tutorials like missing a bunch of stuff. So it actually took me like 2 hours to really get the finesse of this game down. So I wanted to take a couple, just one or two episodes, see how stuff worked. So we've already covered the user interface basics. We've covered the map, the exchange, and the capital. What we have is a couple things going on this episode that I really wanted to touch on. First of all, hopefully we're going to have one of our loans default. Then I'll be able to show you what the debts and in-processes are about. Another thing that we'll touch on a little bit more is maybe science, and maybe we'll talk about war. So, just a couple of finer things to discuss, but when you get into the rhythm of this game, it's really click, 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 next turn. Click, 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 next turn. Click, 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 next turn. Like, there's only like 2 or 3 things you've got to check, which can get a little monotonous, but the game, like I said in the first episode, I feel this game has, or had, or whatever, a lot of potential. But in its current state, it feels kind of raw, and that's why these episodes exist at all anyhow. So, we've already managed our investments, our credits. We've already taken care of everything we need to this turn, so I'm just going to hit next turn. Okay. Let's go to credits. We have a new loan ready. A really high loan default. We can hit issue, or we can hit issue all loans. Later on, we'll have multiple loans to discuss, but for right now, issue all loans. I also want to go back to the loans and talk about debts. Okay, that they must have paid, or next turn we'll see. Okay, or no, this is our current borrowers. They must have paid off and then asked for a new loan. That's how that worked. Always check your investments tab. Okay, so this is what I was mentioning before about agriculture. This is what's going to be grain, so this is going to go under our farms tab. We have a new plot. Harvest season, when harvest season occurs. So we haven't sown anything in this land yet. This was a land allotment. It wasn't a fully functioning farm, so we still have to sow the seeds or plant the crops, however you want to phrase it, and then that'll produce product. The grain that'll be produced here, these resources can be sold just like any other commodity. So, it's another money-making venture. As I mentioned before, in the last episode, we're at a good spot where if you wanted to create another license somewhere, we would go to Map, hover over an area. Let's say that we want Ireland. We could spend the money and invest there. But I don't really want to quite yet because I don't feel like we have a lot of capital left. Let's check our stats now, though. Every single time I've ever played this game, I usually ended up at the bottom, but it looks like we've made some good investments and we're a little higher this time. Other players will have different regions where they start. And I'll just say this one more time because I know this is like a little tough. Not every AI is on the same holding. There's different everythings for everything. The AI doesn't seem to have all the controls and all the power we do. Like, this game has almost like a EU4 feel to it, right? Like a Europa Universalis, but it's not that kind of game. Like, we are a unique entity in the world of banking. What other tasks have we finished? Issue 3 loans. That actually awards us some extra fear. That's awesome. What's the next one? Improve relations with your country to level respect. Okay, that's cool. We'll deal with that in a while. Let's go back to our capital. Let's just skip another turn. Now, this is a message we'll get every so often. According to rumors, the minimum acceptance value banks will soon change. All banks that are cheaper than this level will have to quit the big game. Expected minimum level, 1,000 monies. Now, what does that mean? We go back to stats. These are our values. 1,000 is really, really low. We're playing on easy. But let's say the value was 62 or 63,000. Everything from this Bank of Lombardy and South would just be chucked under outside the big game and they're done playing. That would be it. So that's a warning that we're going to get kind of, I don't know, every 15 turns, every 20 turns, something like that. It's not too frequent. Let's go ahead and do our normal. Investments. Ooh, produces sapphire. Awesome. Purchase. Any loans? Yes, issue that loan. Do we have any debts or anything? Nothing. Dang it, I was really hoping we'd have a default. Game's been pretty nice to us not defaulting anything. But I do want to show that screen eventually. In our notification tab, we have a war is declared. In 5 turns, a battle will take place between Southern Moldova, Ottoman Empire, and Wallachia regions. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I know it's not Wallachia. Seen enough Castlevania to know that's not how you pronounce that. If we had any holdings in this war, they would be demonstrated to here, our property. But let's walk through what a war would look like. We have the Ottoman Empire attacking Wallachia. Again, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, so I'm sorry. There's a little ticker right here. It's super hard to read, but it has the number 5. So in 5 turns, the war will be declared. The force of the parties, Ottoman Empire, sitting at 4,000. Wallachia sitting at 2,400 and some change. The territories that are in contention, we have no property there. We're not contributing. We're not participating. We can go to the war, and we can shoehorn ourselves into the war. Now, this is kind of how this is going to work. Even if we don't have any property, we could join a war. On the left side is the competition that is supporting the Ottoman Empire. Max investments of territory, available investments, our value of property. We don't have any. Who cares? Over here, the team supporting Wallachia on the right. We have their competing banks. Same thing. Okay? If we hit join war, so if we join the Ottoman Empire, we can sell weapons or we can invest in gold. Now, if this were a multiplayer game, Megacycle Loan and Trust would show up right here because it's a competitor, but single player game, no one cares. If we sell weapons, we can invest into their army value. What these are just gold values for an army. It's not a breakdown of specific manpower or supply or anything. It's just, what is the money value? So if we donated our 571 halberds, it would increase the value by 5,800. Might be important if we wanted Wallachia to win. If we invest in gold, we can invest a certain amount of money. Let's say 10,000 monies. By participating in the war and spending gold in this region, you get property at an attractive rate. I'm guessing that's going to say. For donating gold, we're saying we'll give you this money, but we want some land in return. Now, the thing is, I don't have a license here, so I wonder what's going to happen. If I issue 10,000, the Ottoman Empire turns back and says, okay, you know what? We'll give you 10,000 money's worth of an iron mine. I'm going to accept that. I donated 10,000 to the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire's military value is now 14,000. It very much looks like the Ottoman Empire is going to win. Assuming the Ottoman Empire emerges victorious, I'll get that property. So, we'll keep an eye on that situation, but that's really all there is to war. You donate if you want to donate, and that's really it. So right now we see here the Ottoman Empire, and this is, Wallachia. So right here we have the combat. This is where the battle is being held. This is where the contention is held. Now let's see here. Is there a better way? Yeah, okay. So the far right tab up here shows what nations are at war, and this is it right now. So we have specifically this territory of the Ottoman Empire and this of Wallachia are going at it. So there's that. I'm going to switch back to the regular one. That's all there is to that. So let's go back to our capital. We'll have to keep an eye on that in 5 turns. So turn 10, we're going to care about that a lot more. I'm going to go ahead and skip the turn. Now that we've skipped a turn, our resources number has changed because we've taken the iron and turned it into halberds. So this just shows again how much running monies and stuff we have. We're also collecting stone and sapphires from our 2 mines, so that's nice. That's a good amount of money. Also, sapphire, stone, iron, all these things are going to be resources for upgrades at a later time. So that's good stuff. Of course, we're going to check our investments. Rubies. Yoink. Credits. Issue a loan. Everything looks good. Cool. Next turn. Same thing, investments. Now, sometimes the property is going to be really, really cheap. And what this usually means, in my opinion, is I usually skip really small properties like this. But we're going to buy it anyway because what I'm hoping to get is a warning message I want to share. The value of the property is based on how much it produces. So if you have a property that's like 500,000 monies, it's going to produce a lot of resources. If you're buying something that's really cheap, maybe not so much. We're just going to kind of do our due and then get to turn 10. Yeah, see, this is $3 or 3 gold 83. Kind of big deal. So let's go see what that is. So that would be an industry. No, that would be under real estate. Now, it might have actually just lumped into this house because it says new and we were making money before. So maybe we bought an extension to the property and not a whole new property. That's what makes this a little confusing. What I did want to also discuss is we came into industry and we have a disabled property. If you hover over the disablement, it says this property is unavailable, the region is at war. Anytime you have a pending war, even if you're going to win, you may have some disabled territory. That's just what happens. Okay, we have our land allotment. It still hasn't planted anything yet. It's appreciated 500 monies in value. So we could sell it if we just really need the cash quick. Let's check our credits. Issue another loan. Very high chance of loan default. Let's see what that's all about. And investment. So land allotment. If I purchase this, I wonder if that'll just get cashed right into farms. Yeah, see, it still says new. So that's interesting. That the game doesn't do a super job with telling you exactly if it's a brand new property or if it just connects to something else or what goes on. So that's something to just keep in mind. Let's go ahead and check here. Loan defaults, 48.2%. So I don't know if when it defaults, that's all you get back, or that's the percentage of it defaulting. I'm honestly not 100% on that. Let's skip another turn. Victory, congratulations. The country Ottoman Empire, with our support, was able to smash the forces of the state Wallachia. Our investments in the territory of the winner have not lost their value, so I'm going to say accept. Let's go to our industry because we demanded an iron mine. Now, this has red on it, which is funny. It says it has not lost its value. Its base price is 10,000. Its sale price is 6,000. But I'm not getting any of the resources. It's red. 0 resources a year. We'll skip one more turn and see if that changes. But because I don't actually have a license to work there, there's nothing I can do. Research, the big game is complete. New wars have been kicking off. We can manipulate these wars just like we did for the Ottoman Empire, but if we don't have a license, it kind of doesn't matter. The big game, amount of investments in property, 10,000. That's awesome. So we'll be able to invest in much bigger property swaths. Increase your goal by 50%. Now this is something that I was saying before that was kind of deal breaky. If you can get to this point with a bunch of money, a 50% bonus might be like critical. Like if you've got 150,000, that's another 75,000. That's a big chunk of change. Now, one more thing to discuss is the actual science production. Science production doesn't waste. So we're not going to choose a research here. I'm just going to skip this turn. If I go to science now, we have 155 in storage. This can be really cool if you want to plan out your moves carefully. If we don't want, let's say we have everything researched and we're up to here and I don't want it right now, but I want it in like a turn or two, bam, we have the production or the science points and it's just there. Now, I would caution against stockpiling too much because for every turn that has a bonus, like this one, First Steps, 100 influence per turn. If I wait 10 turns and then buy this tech, I can get this tech in actually 2 turns. There's no point in me not getting it earlier, but our leftover production is spent, our new production will be allocated, and then we'll get notified when it's done. So we skipped a turn. Let's go ahead and check our industry. Sure enough, it does me no good. It's sitting in a country I can't do anything about. It helps me do nothing. I could now go and try to buy a license for the Ottoman Empire, and then I'd already have a proper production hold in there. But because I don't have a license, boop, that goes away. So why don't we try to consider starting our own war? I think we've got enough influence and everything. What do we need? We need respect, and we're starting to get a little iffy here. We're in neutrality zone, but we've got a lot of influence. Let's just host a meeting. I'm going to pay 203 to get 180 influence, or 180 relationship points. I'm going to pay 406 for 300, and now I can't do anything until turn 12. If you're forcing it like this, it's more expensive, or you can auto-negotiate. I'm just going to say, you know what? Just keep hosting meetings. This is what it's going to cost me. This is what's going to get me. I think we'll be able to have wars in 2 or 3 turns. Check our investments. Purchase that. Any more loans? No loans. And again, the icon wasn't green back there, so meh. Just skip a turn. Oh, a new investment. Now, if we're not happy with some of these, we can develop the country. One of the ways to do that is through espionage, where we can go through and, like I said, growth in infrastructure, growth in industry, growth in agriculture. That's going to help our investments because the property is going to be better. 20 is the maximum level, so I'm not actually going to touch any of these. They're high enough. Actually, this one will be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4 action points. My profit changed because we're actually improving some of the property I already own. And I do purchase, that commits the change. So we're investing into a country, trying to make them better. Now, there's another way to do that, and I'll let you discover some of these on your own, but some of these advanced options here under credits, guards, investment, and espionage allow you to further manipulate countries to do what you want. Now, I'd love to buy another license so I could show you what an upgraded headquarters is, but I don't have that right now. So let's skip a turn. We've completed our science. What is next? Resistance is feudal. Will help us... Is it futile? I was hoping to say feudal, like feudal government styles or whatever. Generates work per turn. Again, that's using the armory. Each open region produces gold per turn. That's not bad. Let's see. I know there's a... Here we go. This is what I want. Our people. Just so I can demonstrate this, increases building headquarters 1 level. Which is cool. If you can do some upgrades by yourself, like get it to level 3 by yourself, and then do this research, it gets it to level 4 for free. Regardless if you had the capability to do it yourself or not. So what do we have for investments? More sapphire deposits. Awesome. I'm just going to skip some turns here. Oh, I forgot to check our credits. Issue that credit. Issue that credit. Skip. Okay. It's been 10 turns. Minimum level 5,000. Very confident everyone is well above 5,000. Let's check for giggles. Yep. No one is below 5,000 mark, and that'll kick on at the end of this turn. I don't see anything I really need to do. Next turn. And nothing's in the green. Okay. The war began in Marrakesh region where you have property. So who are we at war with? Actually, it looks like someone's bringing the war to us. I don't even have to start this war. Portugal is coming at us. They have 4,000 force. We have 8,000 force. We don't have any property in Arb, which is the region in Portugal. But this is... We have 40,000 investments in Marrakesh. We will participate in this war. Now, what can happen is wars are global, meaning everyone knows when a war is occurring all the time. We already have a bunch of actual other people participating in this fight. which is interesting, which is why we're beefed up. So we're going to join the war on the side that we have investments. We can sell weapons like we did to the Ottoman Empire in case our team was going to lose, or we can invest in gold. Same thing applies. We can invest some money and get a property out of it. 16 fractions of a gold. What are you going to give me? A land allotment. Cool. As it currently stands, there's no more property in the region the state can pay for your help. And that's going to be true later in the game unless this country gets better developed or captures more regions. So, same thing's going to happen. We're going to wait 5 turns. And this war is going to conclude. Over here, if I zoom in a little bit, you can exactly see where the fight is going on. Oh, also, if you declare war, you can only declare war on people right next to you. So, let's actually go check our espionage advisor. We can declare war because these people are happy enough with us. So let's start war. Let's see here. Why is nothing in red? That's interesting. Oh. Oh, maybe because we're already at war. Okay, that might be something to note. I'm learning stuff as we're going. So, let's spin up some turns. I just want to get to the point where we have the tutorial. Okay, Fez won the battle. I was able to capture Arab Portugal. That's hard to say, isn't it? So, whether you're a defender or an attacker, you can capture land. That's where this gets a little touchy. So if you declare war, even if your forces are moving into enemy territory, you can lose land. Let's go ahead and just capture up another one of those. So now we have 2 regions. Okay. If I go to the capital, espionage, and I want to improve agriculture, we have Marrakesh, which is the one that we have, and this new area, which opens up new available investments, new industry, new real estate, and it all has its own actionable stuff. So let's say I want to increase real estate. I have 6 action points. I could do 1, 2 to increase Marrakesh, and put the rest into Arb and purchase. This is going to develop the real estate in the area. It's still under the same country, but now Fez has 2 regions. We're going to also move forward with an active war on my own. Yep, now that we're no longer in war, I can go to war. We're going to capture southern Morocco. When we declare war, it comes with a price, which we will pay. I don't have the money, do I? How embarrassing, I'm just short. Let's sell some resources. I want to sell all civilian goods, which will include the rubies, the sapphires. Boop. We have plenty of money now. Okay, back to it. Back to espionage time. War. I want northern Morocco. We'll pay a fee. That gets the troops readied and supplied. And now, same as before, war is declared. We have Marrakesh versus northern Morocco. The 2 territories, or what have you. The forces. Our property. Our contribution. I will go to the war. I will join the war on Fez. Now, unfortunately, the same situation remains. There's just no new property available. Now, even though we just captured some new territory, the area hasn't been cut up and distributed yet. We could sell weapons if we need to turn the tide, but I don't. So this sounds like a really easy win for us. Now, I wanted to do war just so I could show you this. The headquarters upgrade requires a 2nd region, which we discussed before. It also requires gold, flax, sapphire, and skin. Think of skin as like leather, right? So, we're going to go ahead and quick upgrade. A quick upgrade means it's going to pay for whatever resources we're missing. Because we're going to do this upgrade, it's going to increase our investments, credits, espionage, guards, up to level 2. Farms, industry, real estate, luxury, armory. Armory will be able to go up to level 2. I don't know why it lists them as level 1 anyway. But we're going to go ahead and quick upgrade. Now, you might have noticed that all these icons turned green down here. That means they can be upgraded. And this is where the game gets exciting. And I really wanted to show this off before we called this the end of the season. We're going to upgrade our investment. Same thing. What it provides, what we required, everything else. Stone, quick upgrade. Getting it to level 2 opens up this, which is the investments for a country. So what we've been doing so far is we've been asking each country, hey, is there property you can sell? Is there land we can take? Is there a manufactory we can own? Whatever. But now we're going to go to the country and invest in it directly. So we're going to go to... This is a listing of all the regions in Fez. Region Marrakesh, Region Arb, which we've just conquered. The available investments in an area, our investments, and maximum investments. So Arb is going to be a good choice. Before we do that, though, I could use a little more money. We're going to just sell everything. Oh, that gives me more than enough. Okay, let's come here. Open. I'm going to go here. By investing in the region, you stimulate economic growth. After that, new investment proposals will begin to appear in the region. For the emergence of new investments, will require 1 turn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to donate 1,200. That'll improve the region by 7,200. I'm going to confirm. What we'll get immediately is an option for investment. Because we invested, get a nice piece of grain right there. You can only do that once every so often. Okay, seems like once in every 20 turns per country. Per country, per region. So because I already did one, I can't do the other one. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about guards. Let's go ahead and quick upgrade this. This opens up another tab called Tasks of the Guard. Remember, we've been accumulating fear this whole time. Fear is used again to get money back on a loan that's defaulted, but we can also spend fear on some other fun stuff. Political orders, which will give us influence and or gold for a price. Magnate's orders, which will give us just a resource straight up, skin, stone, or grain right now. Or against competitors. We can spend fear to peel off money from an opposing bank. It's not a lot of money, but if you're sitting on a ton of fear, that could give you a bit of an edge. What I like to do is the Magnate's orders. I like to find a resource that's very plentiful. Actually, grain is good money. So I'm going to spend this fear. I'm going to get this grain. Boop. Now look at our resource value, 77,000. If I exchange it, yeah, that just changed the game completely for us. Sell. We have a lot of money now. Money ain't no thing. Let's upgrade our credits department. This allows us to issue loans to other competitors. The bank name, the cost, the turn, the profit, the action. 2 things to note. Giving a loan to your competitor is a great way to make some money. So, let's talk about this loan right here. Let me pop up my calculator. We have, let's call that 21,500. So 21,500 times 0.4, no, hold on. 0.044, so 4.4%. That's going to give us 946 over 9 turns. So by investing 21.5 with Trinity Bank, we're going to net 8.5 at the end of the term. It's not bad. The other thing is, if Trinity Bank defaults, what can happen is they can't pay their loan back. They're out of the game. Once you go bankrupt, you're done. There's no credit limit. We are the credit limit. If there's not enough money, we're done. So this is very delicious, as is this one. So I'm going to go to loan to the opponent's bank. This is how much they want. We have 100,000, so I can give any amount here, and it'll be the percentage over time, but I want the maximum. So we'll issue that. We'll also do it with Bank of Lombardy, maximum. And anywhere 4% is pretty good. So Unia Bank. There we go. So we've issued 3 loans. This is different than the small term loans we've already been distributing. Let's go to borrowers. We have the who, the how much, the interest rate, the due date, and the turns left. So we're going to make a good amount of side coin by investing our money. If there's nothing you can put money into, not a bad shake. Last is espionage. Let's go ahead and upgrade you. Yep, quick upgrade, that's fine. This actually opens up a new one called Revolution. Sending your agents around the world, you meet with leaders of national elites who, with the help of your financial support, are ready to raise a revolution and establish a new country. If the rebels win the Revolutionary War, the new government will grant you a banking license as a token of gratitude, and it will deprive other banks from pursuing any activities. All property of competitor banks in the new country will be sold, as competitor banks will suffer financial losses of up to 25% of the value of this property. Except, this is where this gets interesting. Let's start in Western Europe. We send agents, which costs a fee. We then get several options. These are the cultures that need investment, who are ready to uprise their masters. So let's say Rhine. That's a lot of available investment, so go to. What it will be presented with is several bunches of parties. Peasants, townspeople, military, social elite, whatever in here. The capital. The number of areas they'll help you control, the revolution success chance, gold required, impact required, and the action to start. We don't have any of those resources. I don't have nearly enough influence. So we'll just hit X, and that kicks us out back here. If we go, oh, no, hold on. If we go back in there, accept. I believe what happens is it just, other region. I think it just disappears. Oh no, it's still active. Okay, cool. So we could probably do a little shopping if we wanted to, but this is a great way to get a bunch of areas and deprive your opponents of any access. The armory also has an upgrade. Let's upgrade that. It's actually just going to provide more work. More workers to produce more stuff. Let's go check that out. Plenty of available work. Not a problem. The other upgrade pieces are farms, industry, luxury, and real estate. And the only thing an upgrade really does here is it allows you more stuff. So when I mentioned before I was really hoping for an error, what I was really hoping it was going to say was, hey, here's the deal. Oh, regions at war, right? I was hoping it was going to say, hey, here's the deal. You can't do that. You can't have any more assets because whatever. Now, again, because we're attacking... all of our areas are disabled, except this one in Arb. Nothing is going to be working right now because in Marrakesh is where we have all our assets. So a war here is truly like a total war. Like the whole region gets off its arse and gets moving. Why don't we go ahead and finish this off? Because I'd like to see the end of this war, which will happen in 4 turns. So skip. And we should have new investments. A bunch of new stuff. Look at that. 31,000 purchase price produces wood. Let's check on our industry. Because that should build, yeah, almost 800 wood. Bam. We just got our market for crossbows. Are we able to upgrade this again? Oh, headquarters is level 3 because we finished that science. I bet us money. Yep, we just finished that headquarters science. Let's do this. Embezzlement. Silence is golden. Let's do that. So we can do another upgrade, but we've already unlocked everything right now. Ooh, one thing I forgot to mention with an upgrade, always check your staff. Now we can hire more staff. So let's do that, but let's hire 4 at a time. Find an expert. We don't get any distinct advantage by rolling more, but it's just easier for me to see. So this is a great investment. 21. Take him. These aren't bad, but let's roll again. Oh, an 18 guard? Heck yeah. Okay, I like to do like 1 or 2 at a time so I don't miss my place. Investments. Guards. So our salary will go up, our fear will go up, or whatever it is. Also, our science will increase significantly. Let's roll again. I need an L and a D. There's our L for 14. Awesome. And I'll just hire this guy for 10. That's fine. Not going to be playing this too much longer because I really hope you're going to take this and give it a go yourself if you've enjoyed this game. I'd like to do a playthrough of this eventually, but for right now, I think this is good. So we have a few more turns left. Let's go ahead and check our credits. I don't have any money. Now, another thing I want to show you, we don't have enough gold to cover our costs. I'm going to hit next turn. We'll get a notice that says bankruptcy risk, you're running low on gold. If you hit next turn ever, you lose the game. I'm going to hit cancel. I can't actually do any exchanges because I've already sold everything. So what I will have to do is I'll have to sell a property in order to continue the game. So what's something really cheap I can just get rid of for 1,000? Unfortunately, this land allotment. And now we'll hit next turn. Man, the simple fact that it shuts down my territory is a real pain in the rumpus. But investments, oh man, that's a nice house. Produces a lot of gold. Unfortunately, I don't have enough stuff to make that work because I invested in everybody else. That price is exactly the money I have, and that's risky. What do we have for product? We have crossbows. And like I said, everything else is shut down, so I can't really do much else. The numbers are green again because, like I said, that means we can upgrade. I'll take that loan now. Next turn. Yeah, let's just check our investments. I can't do anything with this. And next turn. The war has concluded. Bez won the battle, is able to capture northern Morocco, Portugal. Awesome. Let's take a look at what that says on the map. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, the war mechanic of this game is very simple. It's incredibly simple, but it has to be very straightforward, or I feel the game would get bogged down far too much. Far too much. So, we've committed war. We've had no defaults, but if anyone defaults on their loans, you're going to see it in debts here, and you'll use fear to handle that. We've covered all the secondary functions of all the buildings. I really think this wraps it up for a tutorial. Everything else is going to be subjective. If you want to start off with 2 territories, a smaller territory, a bigger territory, or whatever, that's all up to you, absolutely. The other thing is, don't forget, we get 25% cheaper holdings in England. So that's something we'd want to strive for based on our race, or faction, or nation, or whatever the world is called. But as it stands right now, I think this gives you a really good idea of how to play Evil Bank Manager. My name is John Megacycle. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helps in your journey. I know this was a bit lengthy, but I wanted to get through everything. 24 turns, I think that's a good start. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.